Okay, welcome everybody. It's the 10th of April, 2024, and this week is the Gno.land Developer Call Contributor Edition. The agenda is shared here, and I will open it up and screen share so everyone can follow along. All right, let's kick things off, with on block. I will let you guys take it away. I think Andrew.
Yep. All right. So the first thing I want to mention is the transaction message filter in GraphQL that we added for the transaction indexer. And I actually want to hand it over to Gno, our full stack developer, to let him demonstrate how the filter works. So Gno, you want to
take it away, Gno?
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is Gino's first time participating in the call.
Oh,
yeah.
Welcome.
Gino is the main engineer behind Adena and all the contributions we've made to the TM2JS work and TX index work. He's doing some great work, and he wants to show the new features that he recently added to the TX indexer.
Oh, hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah. I'm going to demonstrate the transaction filter. I've added to TX indexer. The filter I've added comes with two key features. One, it allows you to filter transactions with many options, such as types, the sender's address, token amount. Two, it displays the messages of the transaction in the result. Now I will show you how it works. This transaction message and detailed types and query result, you can show messages. And you can check docs. And messages and message values, bank message send, message call, messaging add package, message run. And next filter is message route type and type URL in send execution as package run. And you can adjust bank and send bank parameter. Yes.
Okay, so to add on, what this basically does is that it lets you filter out transactions based on the parameters you set. So, for example, the filter that's currently set only filters the transactions that are bank message sends, and it specifically catches the transactions that are being sent to the address that's next to the underscore address, and it only filters transactions that are sending any GNOT tokens below the amount that's entered as the 2. So basically, any transaction that's sending GNOTs that's below, I think that's 10 GNOT tokens, since that's like 10,000 UGNOT, but yep. Go ahead, Gino.
Yes. And same work, subscription transactions, and when from amount 10 knot over. Wait. Oh, some problem in local network.
Okay, so there seems to be some issues with the local network settings, but anyways, what this does is it only filters the transactions under the that matches the filter in real time. So once you send any once you create a transaction that sends less than 10 GNOT tokens, it's not going to show up. But if you send any more amount than 10, it will show up.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, this is great. We're already playing with it in the social app project. So great work.
All right, Manfred, do you have a question?
Not a question. It was so one bravo, and so yeah, recently we discussed with Bertie, who had indexer needs, and I asked them to consider first writing a generic indexer before writing a custom one. But in practice, I think we now have a good solution that should manage most of the generic needs. So I just expect Bertie, when using it, to give a feedback, maybe to write some documentation, some tutorial on how they use your solution for their needs. And I think we should encourage people to use this solution. So to avoid having maybe too many people trying to do, actually, it's also okay to have people trying to do something from scratch, but I think this solution deserves being highlighted and have its own tutorial and documentation. And one of the questions Bertie asked me was about who will host this service. And I have a question for you. Do you have a publicly exposed API right now on Block? If you have a publicly exposed API, I think it's a good thing to also link it from the documentation. But also in the documentation, we need to explain that at some point, since we can't make easily gas fees with such public services, one of the solutions is to basically run the same code, the same generic code, locally in your company and use it. So yeah, one question is, do you already expose one, or do you plan to expose one? And if you can link it publicly, if that's the case, and yeah, do not forget to actually encourage people to also run their own node, so it's not centralized on your infrastructure.
Yeah, we plan to make the APIs public, but we haven't actually developed it yet. So for the next step, Gino is gonna replace the current on-block API, which is for Adena and Gno.scan, with the TX indexer. And while we are doing that, he's gonna try to improve the TX indexer, and then we can make the APIs public.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. If you don't plan, we can also find other people to do it. Just in practice, what I expect is that we highlight this solution from the main README of GNO, or easily in the documentation, and then to actually give an URL to people who want to give a try, and also suggest people to run their own node if they, I don't know, want to have huge loads or custom needs or whatever. But yeah, you can also keep it private if you want. Just tell us so we find someone to run a public instance.
All right. And I think this will actually come in handy for many dApp developers because some dApps will require will have a feature that shows the recent transaction history that has to do with their application basically. And since you can filter transactions by the path, you can only filter out the transactions that have something to do with your dApp. And moving on from the TX indexer, we have a couple of PRs that are ready for review, the emit and event and the JSON package updates. And we also have shipped Adena version 1.10.0, which is currently under review by the core team. And I want to briefly showcase the new features that are added. Let me share my screen. All right. Well, actually, I think I chose the wrong one. All right, that should do it. Okay, so there are three main things. First is that we've received a lot of feedback from the users saying that, oh, we thought
You
Adena only
close the
supported.
screen, Andrew.
I would.
You stop sharing. You just stopped sharing the screen.
My
Can
bad.
you?
Yeah. I wonder if it cancels if I try to. Is it sharing now or?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. Sorry. Okay. So the first. Anyways, back to the feedback that I was talking about. So a lot of users have been saying that we only thought Adena supported hardware wallets because once you install Adena, you only see these three options, and that's actually what we intended. We want users to use we want to better educate users and encourage them to use the most secure methods, which are either hardware wallets or air gap accounts. But we also do want to let them know that there are other options, the more convenient ones, but comes with lesser security. So we added these tooltips below that only pops up when you've just installed Adena or if it's your first time adding a new account. So the first hardware wallet option gives you like medium security, medium convenience. Air gap accounts obviously gives you the highest degree of security, but less convenience. And we mentioned that you can use Adena with your seed phrase or your private key, but it just offers lower security. So that's one, and I'm just gonna quickly skip through the setup so I can show you guys the two other features. Right, so the two other features are this faucet button right here that we added, and we only support the faucet in a faucet for the official Gno.land testnet. So testnet 3 and portal loop. And once I click on faucet, it immediately gives you the tokens. Yep, there it is. So you don't have to like go through all the complicated stuff. And same with portal loop. All you have to do is click on the faucet. And you get the tokens. Oh, yeah, we should show this somewhere else. Yeah. And to prevent bots from draining out our faucets, we implemented two basic filters, which only allows you to request once every 24 hours. So it says, oh well, and you have to have less than 10 tokens, so you can't like spam the faucet consecutively. Just show the other. Oops. if I have less than 10 tokens, I can request again, but it was gonna, there's the fee, and if I press it again, it's gonna say that I've already received my tokens, and I can request once every 24 hours. So that's just our way of trying to prevent the spams. And the last feature is this pop window feature. Once you click on it, it opens up a tab which you can use as a window. And this will be handy because once you're trying to send tokens, or when you're trying to develop something, there's a lot of cases where you have to switch between tabs, and a misclick can like send you back to the main page, and this is really cumbersome. So I think this will be a feature that's really handy for a lot of people. And yep, that's it for Adina. And oh, I also want to mention that we've addressed all of the security issues raised in Christoph's audit report. And since everything should be resolved, we are going to publicly publish the audit report on our repository once the review is complete. And we can follow our full updates in the builder journey that I've linked in the hackmd file. And I'll hand over to Dragos.
Hi everyone. So for now, my updates are about Zentastic and Flipando. The first update is about finishing Zentastic core first implementation. This means we have like a project management server, which is published as a package. This implements the basic Zentastic core functionality, which means we can add, remove task and realm and context to implement the flow described there. If Michelle, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page, there is a user guide on how someone can implement this in their own code by importing the package and using the function calls that are created. There are also tests. So far, none of the tests is failing, at least on my dev env. So I encourage people to kind of look into it and give as much feedback as possible. Related to that, I'm planning to move on to the second part of the grant if there are no major blockers on this implementation. And for this, I would like to call for defining custom metrics or resources, which means we are creating a custom version of Zentastic for the actual Gno development. So I'm thinking about having a conversation about this. I put on some ideas. We can add in decide man hours, money compensations, contributor points, and stuff like that. This is mainly for picking up on the conversation that we had with Manfred at the beginning of the conversation about Zentastic. That is, so I'm waiting for the feedback. As for the Flipando, I advanced in working with Bertie. I successfully installed Gno native on my dev environment, and I am actually able to start a mobile app using Gno native. And I kick off some work with intent to port Flipando to a mobile app using Gno native. If this tiny little project is successful, my intention is to use Gno native kit as a platform for building the UI for Zentastic in the third stage of the grant after all the backend is written. I also pointed a message in Slack to Milos and Leon to have a look at the code, waiting for a code review whenever they are ready. So that's my update. First stage of the grant is, as far as I'm concerned, is ready, but I'm waiting for feedback.
Thanks, Dragos. Then, so for this call for defining custom metrics, will this be an issue, or like we should actually have maybe a follow-up?
We can use whatever conversation or whatever exchange people find comfortable. We can have a call. We can use an issue tracking. I'm open.
Okay, that would be great, because with Morgan, there's work going on revamping a little bit the Game of Realms structure, so it could be perfect timing. I'm not sure what you think, Morgan, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, was kind of also looking at something else. Code for defining custom metrics for the next implementation. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at that. But yeah, if you have if you can like if you want more information on Game of Realms, or you sort of have an idea of how this could work, get in touch.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Sounds good. I don't know if there are any questions on this, or we can take the next one. So, Varmeta Group, if you guys want to let us know what you are working on and if we can help.
Yeah, by now we are in internal discussion about the integration to our game with Gno. So today we can show any final document for the integration game with Gno.land. Yeah, because it's in the draft version, and we already said in the last meeting. So today we want to discuss about how do you think what are you true for integration optimistic stack for the Gno, and because right now we see optimist and zero colorist is more popular for the layer layer 2 solution, and we think we can integration is for the is will make our chain some benefit like the we has a more tool for the developer can making the app easier and reduce the transaction cost. And actually it will have some challenge, but I need some what do you think about if we can integration the optimist stack for the Gno?
Yeah, so to give a bit of context, right? So we've been discussed with Jay in regard to the account section, and seem like the account smart contract rate is not the solution. So we are thinking if we want to do all the transaction on game transaction is on blockchain, so maybe we need to have the layer 2 kind of approach. So that's where we are thinking about OP and also like maybe ZK. But then we are thinking like OP might be a good fit. Yeah. So I'm just wanted to give a little bit more context on that.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're asking. So like integrating OP stack. I heard that like what do you mean by OpStack? Like to expose like virtual machines OpStack to the version to the code itself, or Miloš, please.
Just a question. When you say OP stack, do you mean the roll-up OP stack or something else?
I can say some the
like the optimism OP stack.
understand.
Yeah, the optimism one. Okay.
Yeah. I think
mhm.
I think maybe the stack is a new word for audio. So I put the link on the high space, and we can discuss it more on the next meeting for the save time for the.
Yeah. I might not be the best person to ask about roll-up stacks because I'm fundamentally against roll-ups, and I believe they solely exist to just generate transaction revenue for Ethereum or just generally other platforms. In terms of using the OP stack for the Gno chain, I'm not sure it makes too much sense given that we don't have any specific load that needs to be mitigated through a roll-up like this. And in the future, we do see like a multi Gno chain environment, right? Which you obviously can't have with Ethereum currently. I'm not sure if others have like an opinion or you wanted to utilize like a specific area of the stack.
In the Ramos of Cosmos in this year, they have planned for the integration the OP stack for the Cosmos Hub.
Oh, for the Cosmos Hub?
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We see is on the X platform of Cosmos Romas.
Yeah. But you know, you got to think about like why would you implement something like this? You're implementing a rollup if you have either you're a very greedy network like Ethereum, or you have a transaction bottleneck that you need to mitigate with other chains. Yeah. I like currently I don't see how we can integrate something like, or why would we need to integrate something like this for Gno.
Like I mentioned, right? So one of the things is that when we discuss with Jay in regard to the cow section, so one of the concern from here is like how we can put all the transaction on chain. So that's where we're thinking about, like, because like in that case that we put all the transaction on chain. So the transaction like will be like numerous, right? Will be a lot. So that way the L2 come in at the approach, and it also like from a suggestion from Jay. So yeah, so I think that's that's where this has come from. But yeah, I think it's just quite new, and it also like not really match with what we are doing. Yeah, but like yeah, we could just share the idea as well. We want to see what else area, rather than the image SDK we already done, and we can contribute to the chain. So we also like open for any suggestion from the team to see like what area maybe we can come in and research about.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting parts of the OP stack is how they do fraud-proof generation. Maybe this is something that might be interesting for the team. Whether or not you can generate these proofs either like off-chain and figure out how to dump them on-chain, or do it through a Realm contract. But yeah. Currently, like we don't have a performance bottleneck or a need for inherited security from a parent chain or anything like that to be used.
Actually, we have one, because the goal is to address scalable smart contracts, to fix scalable smart contracts. Our mission is not finished when we launch Gno.land. The mission will be finished when we have many blockchains scaling with various approaches, including mostly things around IBC. Could be standard IBC protocols, or it could be more like sharding. So in practice, I think rollup will be more an alternative to IBC in this long-term roadmap. I'm not a big fan of considering rollup at this stage. I'm definitely prefer to focus on IBC first. In practice, I'm not sure we can prevent people to do rollup, because if I'm not wrong, you can basically, it's about letting people do whatever they want with external clients, while IBC will allow to have something more hermetic to external world. So we have a performance problem in the long run. It's not a current topic, not a priority, and we won't work nor on Rollup or IBC at the moment. But once we launch Gno.land, I think we'll try to basically compete with this approach with rollups using ABC. So you can maybe have, I don't know, fast.Gno.land, which is a side blockchain. I don't know yet, to be honest, but that's the goal. The goal is to scale with several blockchains. So the initial Cosmos DNA, Internet of Chains, and there is something in the pipeline that we will discuss publicly soon about Atom 1 also, where basically the original DNA is about creating an Internet of Chains, so making it easy to launch a blockchain and making it easy to connect blockchains together. If we continue this long mission, this old mission, this initial mission of the Cosmos ecosystem, and have Gno.land as a good language, IBC, and an extension of IBC to have basically Gno.land over multiple blockchains with everything we like from GNO, including type safety, etc. If we find solutions to create easily blockchains, can be Ignite CLI, Cosmos SDK, and things like this, and if we create new patterns like sharding or other methods, in practice, we could potentially have scalable smart contracts, not on a single chain, not on Ethereum, but basically the next Cosmos, and not 50 blockchains, 50 opinionated blockchains, but thousands of blockchains to address whatever needs you have. Can be customization, or can be performance, or local, or regionality, etc. So this is in the pipeline. We won't work on either Rollup or IBC in the core team in the upcoming months. And when we will start working on something, it will definitely be on IBC before on Rollups. But since we cannot prevent people to work on rollups, in practice, people are free to give it a try, but they won't have a lot of support from the core team, I fear, in the upcoming months.
Yeah, thank you, Manfred, for your comment. Yeah.
Just a reminder about one key point of GNO. GNO automatically creates Merkle proofs for everything. One of the key points of rollups is about basically sending just some Merkle proofs of things that happen. So basically sending Merkle proofs of, I don't know, the last 1,000 transactions. So in single transactions on Ethereum could basically secure 1,000 transactions on Polygon or something. I'm probably saying some mistakes, but you just need to imagine that the key point of rollups and IBC and just using one blockchain to secure other blockchains. So another mission of ICS here as its main dependency, having Merkle proofs built in. In GNO, we have built-in Merkle proofs for everything, for the realms, for the blockchain itself. So it will definitely be easy to create clients able to verify the state of a blockchain, or to create a blockchain to secure and or verify other sub-blockchains. And that basically what will be the next version of IBC for GNO, an IBC that supports type safety instead of losing type safety with poor marshalling, and being able to basically not be aware of everything happening on another blockchain, but still having proofs to basically make it easier to switch from a blockchain to another and have to have more states in a blockchain. So basically to consolidate hybrid composable states across blockchains. And this is one of the ways to, in our opinion, to scale smart contracts without limits.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Manfred, for your yes, for the advice. Yep. Yeah, so I think like if we could just share the idea, is that not something like in the roadmap, in the new roadmap, so maybe we can looking for in for some another way to contribute to the to the project. Yes. So I'm not sure if Manfred or Milos or someone here can help us to guide more some directions. As I think like we've done with the Unity SDK. Yeah. So maybe we have some free hand to support other areas. So if you guys have like if I can connect with our team can connect with like either like Manfred or Milos or so it would be great. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was not able to listen to the whole question. Is someone from the core team able to reply, or maybe you can ask again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not a question. It's just like I mean like maybe like we get in touch with Morgan Milos so after this so to ask for some more guidance in terms of the areas that where if we can contribute with make more sense rather than the OP. Yes, like our suggestion. Yeah.
I think the goal is for for the Varmeta team to find where it makes the most sense for them to contribute to Gno.land. Obviously, there's this proposal, right? But how can maybe the core team provide a bit more guidance on maybe where their time would be best suited for?
So I suggest not speaking about Varmeta especially, but just to release. So the current plan is to release tests for roadmap soon. And to focus next grantees and focus the effort and community effort, and basically the focus will be on this roadmap. So I suggest that you just wait for the roadmap to be released, or maybe Nemanja you want to discuss with grantees to have feedback or whatever. But in practice, yeah, soon we'll have a plan of what we care the most about. So either you come with your own idea, or you can just basically propose to work on the things that we want urgently to have more chance to basically work on something we will want to pay for actually.
Yeah, we actually have,
Yes.
I don't know if someone has the link, but we can share the link with you, the test for.
It's not finished, that's why I was asking Nemanja if he wants to do something, because it's in progress. So you can already look at the link if you want, anyone, but since we are still refining the page, things can change. That's my problem.
Okay. I don't know if there are more questions, but since we're getting short on time, maybe we can, Bertie, Jeff, if you want to update us on the Oracle.
Yeah, we'll try to go quick. So we ran across a couple of use cases where having an Oracle would work. So we have installed a TX indexer on our Birdie test node, and that's up and running. We're already playing with subscribing to events. So the first use case is where there's a big list of items, like the other users that I'm following, and instead, and of course it's a mobile app which is using this. And right now the mobile app has to do some fancy stuff with pagination, right? Get the first couple hundred, and then get the second couple hundred if it wants it. Of course, with testing, we found out that an AVL tree, if it has over 1,000 keys, you can't even iterate all the keys in one call, even with QEval, because it just runs out of gas. So that's fine. So we want to cache these big lists in an app which is sitting on the same node as the TX indexer, and then we can come up with better ways for the mobile phone to pull our Oracle, and so that it doesn't have to worry about gas. The second use case is not so much the size of the amount of data, but just expensive processing. For example, when you want to refresh your home feed, either you're going to run an algorithm that chooses the best messages, or you're just going to iterate through everybody who you may be following, and it's just too much processing. And again, instead of having the mobile phone have to goof around with calling multiple times without running out of gas each time, we want the Oracle to handle this. And in both cases, the Oracle is going to first make a local cache of all the information, and then it needs to get notified that somebody changed the realm state, so that the Oracle has to update itself. And so, of course, we want to use WebSocket to subscribe to TX Indexer. And we had a little bit of trouble. We want to know what is the recommended practice for writing a Go app which makes a WebSocket connection. Of course, we looked inside the existing Gno code base, and there's things that look like they're making WebSocket connections, but they aren't. So I don't know if Remy, if you want to jump in, but we just want to ask the devs what is the recommended practice for making a permanent WebSocket connection with a subscription from Go. Any example code from somewhere, or Remy?
What do you want? I share my screen, but I don't prepare.
Or just tell them what you tried, or we're really.
Yep.
Is there an existing example of this, or is there recommended best practice, or we just need to get past this blocker?
Yeah, but it's something we have to study. I don't know yet.
Yeah, if there's some wisdom there that could save us some time. Otherwise, Remy is able to research it and come up with a solution. Milos.
Yeah, just a question. When you say WebSocket connection from Go, do you mean a WebSocket client connection or?
Client, yes. Yeah, client connection to the TX indexer as the server.
To the indexer, we don't have anything ready out of the box.
Isn't GraphQL providing a WebSocket by default?
Right. And the TX indexer page says that you can subscribe, but you have to subscribe through WebSocket.
And some Go GraphQL client, yes, so support WebSocket connection. So I started to play with it, but it's not finished yet to be sure that it's working.
Okay, so if there's no other wisdom out there, then Remy will find a good solution and we'll go forward.
Do you guys want to show it quickly to see if there's some inspiration that happens, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Antonio, do you have any tips to share in this regard?
Not really. I mean, if you don't want to use WebSockets, you can use like a standard query.
We do want to use WebSockets. We want to write a Go app which creates it's a client, and it creates a WebSocket connection to the TX indexer so that we can just stay connected and get these events that we're subscribed to.
But what's the problem then? Then I don't understand where's the problem.
We don't have an example of Go code to make the client connection through WebSocket.
I mean, it should be standard because we are using the GraphQL API, so it should be like any other GraphQL connection. So if you go and see some examples from the GraphQL GitHub API, it must work exactly the same because we are using the standard. That's the good part of GraphQL.
Okay, we can look at that. Maybe we can look at that. All right, so moving right along. So to do this, of course, our Realm code for the social app has code to, define a list of users you're following, and it has code to be smart about updating it, adding an entry and stuff like that. And so, of course, we're writing this Oracle, which is a Go app, and we find ourselves just duplicating a lot of the code. And so we just wondered, would it make is there a way to use the existing, the same exact GNO code, maybe even data structures, right? Because an AVL tree and GNO is a little bit different than any type of map or tree we could come up with in Go. So should we just try to make our so-called Oracle code sort of use directly a GNO VM, which we're running on our server without spending gas? Does that make sense? If it doesn't, then we can pick Manfred's brain on this on Friday, maybe.
So run the GNO code for what?
To look, for example, look at use case number 2, right? In the Realm code, we have ways to search and sort, all the posts that other users are following and bring them into my feed and sort them by date and all that stuff. Now, but we can't run it on the blockchain because it's just too much CPU intensive. So we're trying to build something else. We can either re-implement it in Go, or we can basically maybe run our own GNO VM using the exact same code, but not using up gas on the blockchain.
I think that could be a very good. That could be a good idea. Like if you can sort of develop a way where, you have functions defined even within the realm itself, but where the result can actually be cached through an Oracle system. I think that could be like a good pattern on how to implement like things which are very CPU intensive, right? So you have an implementation on the blockchain, but it's executed off chain.
Yeah. So if there's no other work on that, then that's basically, we're going to be diving into that. So maybe we can contribute there.
I don't know if Dylan is here, but last time we discussed about the generic Oracle system he was working on, Gno.land.
Right.
The goal was for basically clients to have drivers. One of them should be to make an internet request, like a curl, CURL. Another one was to execute arbitrary code, could be in whatever language, JavaScript, Python, or whatever. But we could imagine having the GNO binary, the GNO code, downloading the contract code and running code. It starts becoming more complex if you need the state, and I think in your case you need the state.
Yeah.
So it's something that will happen at some point, because at some point I want GNO to. Basically, I want the equivalent of Git pull for GNO pull. When you GNO pull, you have the Realm code and the Realm state, so you can work locally on something. You can import a remote code locally and its state, and then you can import it from your new Realm. So basically unifying the development locally and on-chain. But as you said, sometimes you pay for gas and you have something in the consensus, or you don't pay for gas and you simulate locally. So it will happen, but it will take time.
So we were just trying to think about, well, either we can just do nothing and wait for Oracle, or I
suggest you to start basically to do like we do usually oracles and make external computing, not sharing any helpers. So you just use GraphQL and filters, and you fill a database, or you run your own Go code, Python code, JavaScript code, whatever, and populate something you need. At some point, I definitely want Gno.land to be one of the drivers, such as Python, etc. But for Gno.land plus state synchronization, definitely it will happen probably after you finish your implementation. So consider making a V2 at some point with the final version, but let's start with a simple V1.
Okay. And finally, a small thing that came up in our discussion on Signal. When you monitor for calling a function in a realm, it will send a notification even if the function panics and quits. So I think Milos is going to help us out there and make a PR. So when we get a notification that a transaction run, we need to check its TX result to see if it actually completed. So
I think the GraphQL should now have both filters, what you have in input and the result. No?
Yeah, it just needs to be exposed. I think it'll be
But
straightforward.
I think it is. I think you are just using the previous API. I think the new GraphQL thing, you have everything, including the result. No.
No.
Okay, sorry.
So Millis already checked. So it's minor, but we're just waiting on that. And
Yeah.
finally, we're out of time here. There's a link to a video that Yuri made. If through some miracle at the end of this meeting we have time, he can do a 30-second live demo, but we want to give time to territory here.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll move on, and then if we have time, we can do the demo. Norman, is it
Yep.
off to you? Cool.
Hello everyone. So we don't have many man hours to put into Gno right now, so the update is quite late. We started working on the well, continue working on the GitHub account linking. We have a POC and a demo which is running on the portal loop. I could run the demo right now, but I guess I'll wait for Bertie's one first. And we continued on thinking about all the works DAO hours DAO thing, and we started writing some code. But I think we just decided to like go another way. Before we were doing some pooling in the aggregator. Now I think it's better that the data providers push the data, and then we can use events to index it to show like really rich views of this via indexed data. But we also need to support having some kind of token distribution based on the contribution points, for example. So the aggregator still needs to have to allow some limited queries like all the distributed points for 1 month or something like that. So we're rethinking how we're doing this. And we had a few really little contribution on Gno repo and Gno.js clients. And also we have opened the PR on the Gno repo for ED 25519 support. But in the end, it might be better to use Koblitz curves everywhere. So maybe we will need to open a new PR about for Koblitz curves. Since, for example, Adena and stuff like that only support this for signature. Yep, that's it for us. And I'll do a demo of the GitHub account linking if you have time.
Okay, thanks. I also saw you opened up a hackerspace issue to start talking about the work style.
Yep.
Yep. I think we will be building out a work style working group, so that could be a good starting point. Okay, since we have like 2 minutes, do we Jeff, is that enough time in the 2 minutes to do your
Or
demo?
do the other contributors want to chime in?
Yes, thank you. Does anyone else want to add or ask questions or comment? Yeah.
I just want to say that these contributor calls are getting better every other week. So kudos to the core contributors.
Thanks.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I just wanted to point out, like, sometimes it's probably, if you are new or listening in, it can be quite a learning curve, but also feel free to also ask questions, jump in. This is the space for that. So hopefully we can make it feel comfy for everyone to ask questions. But none?
Okay, well, for anyone who wants to anybody wants to stay, Yuri, if you have it up, you could share a screen and show off your latest code.
All right. Let me know when Google
Coming.
charge.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so here we are. We have Android, a smart guard that is already logged in. So it already passed through the sign up process. And as I'm running Gno.dev and the faucet, the onboarding process already gave them some notes. And here I have iOS. It have their user just locally on Gno key. Just to remember that we are running Go on the mobile, so the same Gno key code to store the accounts. So I'm trying to log in into the blockchain without having an account. So I will not appear here. So I created this button to forcibly onboard this user. You see here there is no address, there is no balance, and if I force the onboard, it will automatically create the user. So we are good. Okay, this is throws an error because there is no post on the realm that we are working, and we are waiting to a better error-prone approach on Gno to improve this code, but it's good for now. Also here the same, but it allows me to search for iOS, or it should, iOS user. iOS, no. Let me try Android here. Why not? Okay. Let's try to post, probably because nobody has a post and our AVL3 are empty. So first post from Android guy. Okay. So Android guy already have, oops, sorry, it's on Birdie. Birdie social. I need Android guy here. Yes, it has my first post. This guy is very young, no followers, no following. And so probably I can find this guy here. Oops, Android, yes. Okay, let's follow him because he is cool. Okay.
That's
Okay. So I can't see any post because I posted before I start following, but now that I was notified that someone start following me, welcome iOS brother. Okay. Right, my refresh screen's not, my function's not working, so I do this sheet, and yeah. And here you go. And I can reply. I can reply. Thank you. Android brother. Okay, I see one reply. I see it here. As my refresh is broken, I need to do this trick. Okay, I see the reply, and I see the reply thread. Yeah, we are working, start to discuss and to work on this refresh to be notified by the GraphQL push notification system. And that's our next challenge. That's it.
Oh, personally, that's really cool.
Yeah, so we've got two different mobile operating systems and the web page render. Of course, there's a limit for the web page render. If there's a couple thousand messages, it will choke, but the mobile app will not. The mobile app is already using paginated fetching, so it should scale already with the code that Yuri has in there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Great. We got
Yeah.
our demo.
I'm looking forward to using it.
Yeah, we
So
plan
you
to
actually liked
make it
it. So
available
you-
soon. Yeah.
So you liked it. We were afraid you wouldn't. We were afraid.
I mean, there's going to be a learning curve, right? But it's really cool that I don't know. It's as I am not a core engineer, it's really neat to see this. Yeah, like how you presented it, Yuri.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. I know we're over time, but that was really worth it. So, I don't know if there's any other things that are pressing and need to be asked by anyone. Anything to anyone? Or shall we? Okay, so that's the end for today. And then thanks everyone for your time, for joining and for participating in the agenda. It is always appreciated, and for all of your contributions. So we will see you next time or next week for the core edition, the core team's favorite time.
Oh God.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. Hope the rest of the week goes well. Bye.
Ciao, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Reservoir. Bye bye.
Bye.